Welcome to a brand new episode hosted by yours truly, DrDark. Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's story. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the post notifications so that you never miss any other future upload from me. With this, gather around, settle down, as the classes of Dr. Dark are now in session. When I was 14, I had a strange encounter that still puzzles me to this day. My parents are divorced, but over the years I have actually grown fond of my mom. So on the weekends I'd sometimes go to visit my mother's place. The house she lived in was converted into several small apartments. It was a creepy old farmhouse, which was at least 150, maybe 200 years old. My mom told me that she heard strange sounds all around the house and she would see things in the corner of her eyes, always feeling like she's being watched. This one particular evening when I spent the night, I bought my N64 because my mom would go to bed early and I'd still be up for a few more hours. I still remember to this day what game I was playing, WWF No Mercy. The good old days. Anyway, I was sitting Indian style on the floor, playing the story mode. I just finished a mission on the game and set down a controller to the left of me, behind me. Directly behind me was a recliner. I'll never forget what I saw next. I went to grab the controller and saw what appeared to be a hoof, like a horse next to the controller on the floor. Insects and blood was coming out of the silver that separated the hoof. I thought to myself, how strange. I slowly glanced up and this demonic figure was staring back at me. It leaned down towards me. Its face gazed down to my face and grinned the most evil smile I had ever seen. The eyes full black and full of rage, hatred, face red, and a one-winged creature. Blood was dripping down from its teeth as it grinned. My heart sunk with fear. It was so surreal, I immediately went into a panic attack and blacked out. I later learned it was the flight or fight response. Several seconds later, I came to laying on the floor and could barely move. The demonic figure sitting in the chair laughing at me. It was as if my fear and energy had been sucked dry from me. I lost all strength, shaking uncontrollably from fear. I did all I could to crawl to my mom's room while clenching my chest. I looked over my shoulder several times, seeing it laugh at me. I was deeply terrified. Words cannot describe it. When finally reaching my mother's room, I tried talking but couldn't speak. I laid on the floor next to my mother's bed for what seemed like an eternity. I couldn't stand up or speak, shaking uncontrollably with fear. After a lengthy period of time, I'm assuming 20 to 30 minutes before I regained my strength to talk, and I stood up. I finally managed to muster up the strength to wake her up, and we talked, and she believed me. She told me that she and her boyfriend had seen the same thing weeks earlier, but didn't want to scare me. I don't know what to make of it and still think of it to this day. I have no doubt demons and angels are real, and believe me, the last thing you ever want to encounter is coming face to face with a demon smiling in your face. I don't care if you believe me or not, but when three people say the same thing on two separate occasions, either we are all crazy or something is or was wrong with that old farmhouse. My mom has moved and we haven't encountered that thing again. My mother and I occasionally talk about what we experienced that day. This was the first time in my life I experienced a panic attack and have since been in and out of therapy for years due to my daily anxiety issues. Most of the counselors I have seen have come to the conclusion that I have PTSD stemming from a traumatic incident when I was younger. I haven't told them that this event sparked it due to my fear of having me blue papered and deemed insane. I never had anxiety attacks or suffered from panic problems prior to this. Thankfully, I haven't encountered something like this since then. Your attendance has been recorded. Make sure to follow me on social media on your way out. Have your own stories? Submit them on my subreddit. Tune into my stories anytime and anywhere by listening to my podcast. The links to everything is in the description below. Until next time, class dismissed.